I know that the 15th on the Tibetan calendar is the day that we celebrate it. And that's the day of expansion, where every virtue is 100,000 virtues. But the actual beginning of the month of Buddha on the Tibetan calendar, now he's out of view, was on Wednesday. So it's the first on the Tibetan calendar that is the first day of Sakra Dao, the month of Buddha. So I'll make prostrations and we'll get started in just a minute.
Oh, she's
Sima needs to come out of here.
no,
Come on. No, honey, it's never fun. Okay. Come on, Sima, you're always bugging Dad. Let's go. Come on, Kala. Come on, Sam, let's get treats. Dad, want a treat? Sima.
My glasses.
Right here.
Yeah, I'm on. Yeah, I'm on. Thank you. Okay. So welcome, everyone. As I had said before we get started, just to give everybody a heads up, Rinpoche is going to give transmission of the Lamrim Dudun today. The abbreviated meaning of the stages of the path to enlightenment, or the abbreviated points of the graded path, abbreviated stages of the path, it's translated as sometimes. But you'll find I've been running around, so just give me a second to get my breath together here, and then made prostrations. So you can tell I'm definitely getting old when like walking down the hall and up and down the stairs once can wind me. So today Rinpoche is going to be, because the beginning of Sakra Dao was on Wednesday, going to be giving this transmission. We talked this morning, he thought that would be auspicious. So before we do get started, we'll do the introductory prayers as normal. And if you're, there's a lot of translations of this text. You'll be able to find Lamrim Dudun, or Lines of Experience. Robert Thurman's collected works of Lama Tsongkhapa text has the translation. Rinpoche's given it before, and we've actually had handouts. So some of you might even have those. But if not, I think if you Google it, you'll be able to find the root text in English. And then Rinpoche said possibly he thinks that it would be nice, because we went over the Lamrim Chemo, which is the extensive explanation, obviously, of the Lamrim, that it might be auspicious to go over this a stanza or a few stanzas at a time in the future in order to link it to the Lamrim Chemo. So we will see. But today, Rinpoche will be giving the transmission of this text. So let's get started with our normal introductory prayers. And thank you all for coming. Really appreciate it, as usual. The Sutra of the Heart of Transcendent Knowledge. Thus have I heard, once the Blessed One was dwelling in Rajagriha at Vulture Peak Mountain, together with a great gathering of the Sangha of monks and a great gathering of the Sangha of Bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One entered the Samadhi that expresses the Dharma called profound illumination. At the same time, noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, while practicing the profound Prajnaparamita, saw in this way. He saw the 5 skandhas to be empty of nature. Then, through the power of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said to noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, how should a son or daughter of noble family train who wishes to practice the profound Prajnaparamita? Addressed in this way, noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, said to Venerable Shariputra, O Shariputra, a son or daughter of noble family who wishes to practice the profound Prajnaparamita should see in this way. Seeing the 5 skandhas to be empty of nature. Form is emptiness, emptiness also is form, emptiness is no other than form, form is no other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, perception, formation, and consciousness are emptiness. Thus, Shariputra, all dharmas are emptiness. There are no characteristics. There is no birth and no cessation. There is no impurity and no purity. There is no decrease and no increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no perception, no formation, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no appearance, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no dharmas, no I dhatu up to no mind dhatu, no dhatu of dharmas, no mind consciousness dhatu, no mind consciousness dhatu, no ignorance, no end of ignorance up to no old age and death, no end of old age and death, no suffering, no origin of suffering, no cessation of suffering, no path, no wisdom, no attainment, and no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, since the bodhisattvas have no attainment, they abide by means of prajnaparamita. Since there is no obscuration of mind, there is no fear. They transcend falsity and attain complete nirvana. All the Buddhas of the 3 times by means of prajnaparamita fully awaken to unsurpassable, true, complete enlightenment. Therefore, the great mantra of prajnaparamita, the mantra of great insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequal mantra, the mantra that calms all suffering should be known as truth, since there is no deception. The prajnaparamita mantra is said in this way: Teata om gate gate paragate parasangati bodhisoha. Thus, Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train in the profound prajnaparamita. Then the Blessed One arose from that samadhi and praised noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, saying, Good, good, O son of noble family. Thus it is, O son of noble family. Thus it is. One should practice the profound prajnaparamita just as you have taught, and all the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, Venerable Shariputra and noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, that whole assembly in the world with its gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas rejoiced and praised the words of the Blessed One. Gala nyome ne jo damba ne ngoje do jo ngai do do je do ba ba la ma yi bu jin li ne zo ngan ro do la ya de lo. Agasamara de Janara Samara Yambi de Ada Onga de Gade Baraga de Barazanga de Bodizo Baba Ganjo Jani Gaine Medoje Badoji Badoji Wadoji Yagi Baji Medemejo Danje Jedinga Yezo Giri Zonya Jejo Jewada Medo Nobe Jenan Jewada Domba Jonji Munzon Zonjoji Jashi de Janenda de The fundamental ground is scented with incense and strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon. Imagine this as a Buddha land and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure realm. Holy Lamas high, wrap the sky of your Dharma bodies in massive clouds of knowledge and love, and let them pour upon the earth of your disciples as we are ready, a shower of rain, the teachings deep and wide. I send forth this jeweled mandala to you, precious Guru. Idam Guru Rana Mandala Gamniradayami. Yani Jodan Zodi Jonam La Shanjo Badu Dani Jazu Dagi Chunye Jibe Zanan Jola Penji Zanye Juba Ju Sanje Jodan Zodi Jonam La Shanjo Badu Dani Jazu Dagi Chunye Jibe Zanan Jola Penji Zanye ba zhu san ye jiu dang ye jia nam la chan jiu ba du da ni jia su qi ha ge qiu nie ji be ze nan ji zhe la ben jie zang ye jiu ba zhu. So again, welcome everyone to the Chenrezig Tibetan Buddhist Center live Zoom of Namgyal Geshe Lharampa Tenzin's live transmission of Lama Tsongkhapa's abbreviated points of the graded path, or the lines of experience it's called, or the summarized meaning of the stages of the path. So this text really is what the title says. It summarizes the Lam Rim in a very condensed fashion, but not quite as condensed as something like the Three Principal Paths, or something like the Source of All My Good, Foundation of All Good Qualities. It actually goes through a little bit more detail and shows how one can actually practice this and apply this in terms of topics. So we'll get into the meaning of the English in the future. I was going to have Rinpoche do the transmission, and I would read it in English. But we'll see how much time we have. Maybe that makes sense to do anyway. I like at the last minute decided not to, but I think I'm reconsidering that maybe that after Rinpoche does the transmission, then maybe because I have I'll read it in English, and then we'll have the meaning of it as well in English. If you don't have it to follow along, we can almost do like a meditation on the stage of the path just by reading it, and not by me inserting any detail. Just by reading it in English. So after we have the transmission, so we have a special blessing from the lineage of the transmission, from Lama Tsongkhapa's mouth to student ear to, various teachers and eventually Rinpoche, and then to us. So we have that special blessing that allows us to understand it and achieve realizations in a more speedy fashion, according to the texts. That's the reason for transmissions. Is to make that bond strong, and that blessing, then our continuum allow us to understand it and move through the understanding of its stages very quickly. So it's for that reason that maybe after we hear the transmission, then we hear it in English, maybe that will create more even of a special blessing. So that's what we're going to do today, and let's just get started with transmission. Rinpoche, Lauren Dudun. The Chiran de Peke de na Lona Benenge Inji Cable. Yabudu.
What that Larry did long was to Siare.
So this is the transmission of the abbreviated stages of the path, or the summary of the meaning of the stages of the path. So please listen well. So I have the transmission from His Holiness the Dalai Lama of this, the method of this transmission. I have achieved this transmission from His Holiness the Dalai Lama.
D'abord, j'ai envie de dire, nous avons tout que tu dis, la dernière fois, je vais dire, soit d'abord, j'ai dit, nous avons tout sur le marché dans la chao, j'ai eu qu'on va de la nuit, mais je vais en salle, j'ai déjà vu que les gens qui étaient dans le domaine d'abord, je veux, qui étaient dans le domaine d'abord, je veux sur la nuit, c'est pas, et là, tu es dans ce jeu, sur le coup, j'ai veux te dire, c'est de faire de dans le jeu, tu peux bien, là, j'ai du bon, avec de deux,但这里边这个早晚的我都时间到我那边上到学时间到我做的做项目都赶紧准备他是在这已经来了那这把就是你看见了那个路那么小就你这个你不来吧你这个你不来吧这段那边让他就在这叫做现在他说没这对面这第一要不就是说这些角度性的对吧的对那就两个没是这样跟他那这那就去就老大那种有的都是种啊对吧就是他们有他就在这是有的也没上了嘛没的这么人几没各种各样有些马上的可以这话就是是两个人就是他妈的扩工的这么什么像他们讲的他都这个这些讲车了才这对就老是老些是吧那些是真就搞了真就知道反正各种特别说呢这那些呢就是说那些人就说这是让他们他说大家这些讲这了起码主要是我是现在这把就是在蛮的面对这边也是也别这个说就是说现在路到无所谓了让开别就是他们他说大家这讲这路这个这把了这个对吧这个在干嘛的这边是说是吧昨天的那这是有看到个吃出去了生意过来这些那这些吧那些从一个了是就是他把就是把这些有多大就是一般只是我现在现在这把就是反正就是是说这这边就是那边那这些讲这个具体是怎么这把昨天了你们都看到没写上了这了还是说了啥他们在这这么多这么多我对在那个学了大家这把这个来这那大概这些的那一点就是写了什么的你大家是不是这么马上怎么做这些的那个吧反正没办法就让他们讲他说大家这些讲这路自己上头长了国外早晚就被我忙了去早几天我们都被就帮了不大就被现在因为现在到了真的我们现在他这没见他自己就没有过来人家都没有这些吧让他们讲他说大家这些工作这都把还把这都是这把有都把有有没有想到他妈这些把东西他从这住了真的要真的让他们要这大家这些家都人家这特别多年也都这么特别多年前面马老师他都能学的那些这把把这种像他们讲的他就是老就住了都这些现在特别经过了真的这个学的对吧对吧感觉对吧对吧让他们他说在这这个有了恐怕说是给上下来把谁喜欢这个了过来哪个是为个话老过去那了人们这些这里面让就是他们这些讲是 Tabalana maybe Temba the Joe, the Lavity, Guadia, Malava, she had a principle, you know, Gardena, so Doajana, Tabish, Yukuna, Malan the Daka, Election, but she made the Dajis, Malolo, Malibra, Batu Joe, Batu Jolotaya, the voice of Tamani, good at Deba Jebi, said no more. What the Lord did look at it.
So that completes the transmission of the Lamrim Duden. And now I'll just read through it in English. I prostrate before you, Buddha, head of the Shakya clan. Your enlightened body is born out of tens of millions of positive virtues and perfect accomplishments. Your enlightened speech grants the wishes of limitless beings. Your enlightened mind sees all knowables as they are. I prostrate before you, Maitreya and Manjushri, supreme spiritual sons of this peerless teacher, assuming responsibility to further all Buddha's enlightened deeds. You sport emanations to countless worlds. I prostrate before you, Nagarjuna and Asanga, embellishments of our southern continent, highly famed throughout the three realms. You have commented on the most difficult to fathom mother of the Buddhas, according to exactly what was intended. I bow to Dipankara, Atisha, holder of a treasure of instructions as seen in your lamp through the pathway to enlightenment. All the complete, unmistaking points concerning the paths of profound view and widespread action, transmitted intact from these two great forerunners, can be included within it. Respectfully, I prostrate before my two spiritual masters. You are the eyes, allowing disciples to behold all the infinite scriptural pronouncements, the best ford for those of good fortune to cross to liberation. You make everything clear through your skillful deeds, which are moved by intense loving concern. The stages of the path to enlightenment have been transmitted intact by those who have followed in order, both from Nagarjuna and Asanga, those crowning jewels of all erudite masters of our southern continent, and the banner of whose fame stands above the masses. As following these stages can fulfill every desirable aim, all the 9 kinds of beings, they are a powerful, power-granting king of precious instruction because they collect the stream of thousands of excellent classics. They are indeed an ocean of illustrious, correct explanation. Atisha's text makes it easy to understand how there is nothing incompatible in Buddhist teachings. It makes every scriptural pronouncement, without exception, dawn on your mind as a personal guideline. It makes it easy to discover what a Buddha intended and protects you as well from the abyss of the great mistake. Because of these 4 benefits, what discriminating person among the erudite masters of India and Tibet will not have his or her mind be completely taken by the stage of the path according to the 3 levels of motivation, the supreme instructions to which many fortunate ones have devoted themselves. Although there is much merit to be gained from listening to or reciting even once this brief manner of Atisha's text, in which can be included the essential points of all scriptural pronouncements, yet it is certain that you will amass even greater waves of beneficial instructions from actually teaching and studying the sacred Dharma contained therein. Therefore, you should consider the points for doing this properly. Then, after having taken refuge, you should see that the root cause excellently propitious for a great mass of great fortune, good fortune as possible for this and in future lives is proper, zealous devotion in thoughts and actions to your sacred guru, who shows you the path to enlightenment. Thus, you should please him or her by offering your practice of exactly what he or she says, which you should not forsake even at the cost of your life. I, the yogi, have practiced just that. If you would also seek liberation, please cultivate yourself in the same way. The working basis of a human form endowed with liberties is superior to a wish-granting gem. Moreover, such as it only obtained this very one lifetime. Difficult to acquire and easily lost, it passes in a flash like the lightning in the sky. Considering how easily this can happen and realizing that all worldly activities are immaterial as chaff, you must try to take advantage of its essential significance at all times, day and night. I, the yogi, have practiced in the same way. After death, there is no assurance that you will not be reborn in one of the 3 unfortunate states. Nevertheless, it is certain that the 3 jewels of refuge have the power to protect you from their terrors. For this reason, your taking of refuge should be extremely solid, and you should follow its advice without ever letting your commitments weaken. Moreover, your success in doing so depends on your considering thoroughly which are the white or black karmic actions together with their results, and then living according to the guides of what is to be adopted and rejected. I, the yogi, have practiced just that. If you would also seek liberation, please cultivate yourself in the same way. The full strides of progress in actualizing the supreme paths will not come about until you have gained a working basis of an ideal human body that is complete with all the 8 ripened qualities. Therefore, you must train in the causal virtuous actions that will preclude your attainment of such a form from being incomplete. Furthermore, as it is extremely essential to cleanse away the stains of black karmic debts and downfalls from broken vows, tarnishing the 3 great gateways of your body, speech, and mind, and especially to remove your karmic obstacles, which would prevent such a rebirth, you should cherish continually devoting yourself to applying the complete set of the 4 opponent powers, which can purge you of them. I, the yogi, have practiced just that. If you also seek liberation, please cultivate yourself in the same way. If you do not make an effort to think about true sufferings and their drawbacks, you will not properly develop a keen interest to work for liberation. If you do not consider the stages whereby true origins of suffering place and keep you in cyclic existence, you will not know the means for cutting the root of the vicious cycle. Therefore, you should cherish exuding total disgust and renunciation of such existence, while knowing which factors bind you to its wheel. I, the yogi, have practiced just that. If you would also seek liberation, please cultivate yourself in the same way. Ever enhancing your enlightened motive of bodhicitta is the mainstay for the supreme vehicle's path. It is the basis and foundation for the great waves of altruistic conduct to bring you enlightenment. Like a gold-making elixir, it brings everything into the 2 collections, a treasure of merit gathered from infinitely collected virtues. Knowing this, the bodhisattvas have held this supreme precious mind as their innermost mental bond. I, the yogi, have practiced just that. If you would also seek liberation, please cultivate yourself in the same way. Generosity is the wish-granting gem by which you can fulfill the hope of sentient beings. It is the best weapon for cutting the knot of miserliness. It is the altruistic conduct which enhances your self-confidence and undaunted courage that helps everyone towards enlightenment. It is the basis for your good reputation to be proclaimed in the 10 directions. Knowing this, the wise have devoted themselves to the excellent path of completely giving away their body, possessions, and merit. I, the yogi, have practiced just that. If you would also seek liberation, please cultivate yourself in the same way. Moral discipline is the water to wash away the stains of faulty actions. It is the ray of moonlight to cool the scorching heat of the delusions. It makes you radiant like a Mount Meru in the midst of the 9 kinds of beings. By its power, you are able to bend all beings to your good influence without recourse to mesmerizing glares. Knowing this, the holy ones have safeguarded as they would their eyes the rules they have accepted purely. I, the yogi, have practiced just that. If you would also seek liberation, please cultivate yourself in the same way. Patience is the best adornment to wear for those with power, and the perfect ascetic practice for those tormented by delusions. It is the high-soaring eagle as the enemy of the snake of anger, and the thickest armor against the weapons of abusive language. Knowing this, the wise have accustomed themselves in various ways and forms to armor of supreme patience. I, the yogi, have practiced just that. If you would also seek liberation, please cultivate yourself in the same way. Once you wear the armor of resolute and irreversible, enthusiastic perseverance, your expertise in the scriptures and insights will increase like the waxing moon. You will make all your actions meaningful for the attainment of enlightenment and will bring whatever you undertake to its intended conclusion. Knowing this, the bodhisattvas have exerted great waves of joyous effort, washing away all laziness. I, the yogi, have practiced just that. If you would also seek liberation, please cultivate yourself in the same way. Meditative concentration is the king wielding power over the mind. If you fix on one point, it remains there immovable like a mighty Mount Meru. If you project it, it can permeate any virtuous object at will. It leads to the great exhilarating bliss of having your body and mind be applicable to any virtuous task. Knowing this, the yogis of mental control have devoted themselves continuously to single-minded concentration, which overcomes the enemies of mental wandering and dullness. I, the yogi, have practiced just that. If you would also seek liberation, please cultivate yourself in the same way. Discriminating awareness is the key with which to behold profound voidness in the path by which to uproot ignorance, the source of cyclic existence. It is the treasure of genius and is praised in all scriptural pronouncements and is renowned as a supreme lamp that eliminates the darkness of closed-mindedness. Knowing this, the wise who have wished liberation have advanced themselves along the path with every effort. I, the yogi, have practiced just this. If you would also seek liberation, please cultivate yourself in the same way. In a state of merely single-pointed concentration, you do not have the insight which gives you the ability to cut the root of cyclic existence. Moreover, devoid of a path of mental quiescence, discriminating awareness by itself cannot turn back the delusions, no matter how much you analyze them. Therefore, on the horse of unwavering mental quiescence, the masters have mounted the discriminating awareness that is totally decisive about how things exist. Then the sharp weapon of the middle path logic, devoid of extremes, they have used wide-ranging, discriminating awareness to analyze property and destroy all underlying supports for their cognitions aimed at grasping for extremes. In this way, they have expanded their intelligence, which has realized voidness. I, the yogi, have practiced just that. If you would also seek liberation, please cultivate yourself in the same way. Once you have achieved single-minded concentration through accustoming yourself to single pointness of the mind, your examination then of individual phenomena with a proper analysis should by itself enhance your single-minded concentration, settled extremely firmly, without any wavering on the actual way in which all things exist. Seeing this, the zealous have marveled at the attainment of a mental quiescence and a union of mental quiescence and penetrative insight. Is there need to mention that you should pray to attain one as well? I, the yogi, have practiced just that. If you would also seek liberation, please cultivate yourself in the same way. Having achieved such a union, you should meditate both on space-like voidness while completely absorbed in your meditative sessions on illusion-like voidness when you subsequently arise. By doing this, you will, through your union of methods and awareness, become praised as someone perfecting the bodhisattva's conduct. Realizing this, those with the good fortune to have attained enlightenment have made it their custom never to be content with merely partial paths. I, the yogi, have practiced just that. If you would also seek liberation, please cultivate yourself in the same way. Renunciation and enlightened motive, and a correct view of voidness are necessary and common for achieving supreme paths through either two of the Mahayana vehicles of practicing causes for enlightenment or simulating now the results you will achieve. Therefore, once you have properly developed the three principal paths, you should rely on the skillful captain of a qualified tantric master as your protector and set out on this latter speedier vehicle across the vast ocean of the four classes of Tantra. Those who have done so and devoted themselves to his or her guideline instructions have made their attainment of a body with all liberties and endowments have its full meaning by achieving enlightenment in their very lives. I, the yogi, have practiced just that. If you would also seek liberation, please cultivate yourself in the same way. In order to custom this to my own mind and also to benefit others as well who have the good fortune to meet with a true guru and be able to practice what he or she teaches, I have explained here in easily understandable words the complete path pleasing to the Buddhas. I pray that the merit from this may cause all sentient beings never to be departed from these pure and excellent paths. I, the yogi, have offered prayers for just that. If you would also seek liberation, please offer prayers in the same way. This concludes the abbreviated points of the graded path to enlightenment, compiled in brief so that they may not be forgotten. It was written at Ganden Nampar Jelwe Monastery on Rinpoche Mountain in Tibet by the Buddhist monk Losang Drapa, a meditator who has heard many teachings. Okay. Sorry about the intro. So does anybody have any questions? I'll make somebody else the reader next time.
Colin has a question.
It's amazing to actually see this in front of you, like 24 hours a day. You know what I mean? So it wasn't about like, wow, I've had these realizations. It's like, wow, these realizations are real because I see them in front of me. So, and I've also translated for over 20 years with Rinpoche, and it's not a new kind of wow moment for me. It's just. So we are, don't forget, we have the White Tara initiation at Losang's house coming up. It's next Saturday, right? Already? Yeah, so next Saturday. And I believe the Tibetans, the Bao community, a lot of them will be coming. I don't know, how many, but I think they're renting a larger vehicle to kind of pile in to come down for it. Their concern is the rain date, like how they coordinate it all. And then if it rains, they'd have to re-coordinate it all. So, but yeah, so it's fun. It's going to be a great gathering. Be nice to see everybody in person again, and auspicious. Now, people who are vaccinated, they say we can congregate and not have a mask on. So, yeah, it's really wonderful that we're able to get together and do this. Hopefully, we can get some kind of an idea on the number. But yeah, moving forward, because yeah, we're live on the internet. But yeah, so everybody, please, who can make it down, that's on Saturday, and you can get details from the people who have the details, or go through the center if you're someone who's new on here, and we'll be able to respond to you and get you those details.
Jeff.
Yeah.
I posted the details here, and also if anyone receives emails from the Chenrezig Center, an email went out. So if you didn't receive that email, just chat to me to let me know so we can get you on the email list.
Fantastic.
And Coleman has a question.
Yeah, we'll do questions and then we'll go off live and we can chat for a minute. Yeah.
So I was just wondering, considering like the weather's getting nicer, if you would be hosting teachings again at your house yet?
Actually, Coleman will be going back to the center because of the regulations are starting to change. So probably not doing it at the house. The center's the center. We only did that, because it was an opportunity to still be able to have live teachings and be socially distanced. But that was only out of necessity, and probably we'll go back to the center soon. We have to all meet. We haven't decided a date, so I don't want to prematurely say anything. But yeah, that'll be the next place that we all meet, besides Lobsang's and Melinda's farmhouse on next Saturday.
Oh, well, wow, that makes me very happy to be back at the center. So thanks for the info, Jeff.
Yeah. Somebody's at the door. Sorry.
Katie has a question.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good morning. Thank you so much, Rinpoche and Jeff Tashidele. Thank you for the transmission of the long rim. How do you say it? Dudun?
Long rim Dudun.
How do you spell that phonetically?
Lobsang La. I mean, I have it in front of me, but I'm not good at that. Spell it out phonetically. I can, hold on.
Just to look, because I'm curious where the text is. I have this aspiration, I don't know if I can keep it, to read the text.
Yeah, if you just Google abbreviated stages of the path, or you'll be able to get it. But I can spell it out phonetically for you. I can, Lam Rim, right?
Yep.
BSDUS. That's the the BSDUS dash DON.
Okay. And then I was curious, is Rinpoche giving the individual liberation vows next week as well?
Yeah, that was mentioned. I have to say, it's very, very special. I would say, going back to Main Street Center, tons of people requested Rinpoche for those vows. I don't know how many people actually ended up with them. I think only one or two. And he wouldn't give the 5 Mahayana layperson vows out. He was very, very strict about it, giving those vows out. So I heard that he did say last week that he would do that. So I want everyone to realize how special that is. It's really a wonderful opportunity. But just realize his hesitancy before.
So this is
was for a reason. So just make sure that you come with a full commitment and desire to keep it.
Right. That's why I was.
Yeah. So Rinpoche, Zapembola, the Techen, the Ganye, Mai, Dan Pai, Jomba, Nangrube. Okay. Yeah. Those who want to have it, if there are those who want to have it, Bukin Yuna, those who want it, I will give it. So yes, he'll give the layperson, male and female vow.
Wonderful. Okay.
They're the same vows, by the way. It's not like there's this.
Pardon?
They're the same vows. It's just they categorize,
Right. Okay.
They're the same vows for a man and a woman. They just categorize them that way as Pai and Maidu.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, no killing, no stealing, no lying, no sexual misconduct, and no alcohol. No
Okay.
adultery. It's
Okay. And Jeff, can you just tell Rinpoche that I have to, Boston Medical Center has asked me to work up there, so I'll be commuting back and forth to the center on the weekends.
okay. The
So I
con
just wanted
Boston.
to let everybody know that.
So you're going to be, say that again. Just which part? You're going to be in Boston on the weekends, or?
I'm working at Boston Medical Center at the hospital there for 13 weeks.
On the weekends, or when are you gonna? I just want to be clear with Rinpoche. You're working on the weekends, or you're back on the weekends?
I'm back on the weekends, but tell
Got
me,
it. Okay.
I just need his blessing. That's
Con de Boston menkan chemo leka rason. Nene con de za dawa mima lapa pas puber pasan de Boston dingere. Nene pemba dan mima de chutsu la yore. De digere ben. Yeah, that's good.
Is that okay, Rinpoche? I'm just finishing cutting the grass here at the center, and then everything will be locked up, and I will be back on the weekends.
Con chutsu, Chenrezig chutsu, the tsa jasar. Then con go jagore, then Boston la dore. Then the pemba na nima re set the chutsu la yore. Yeah, it's good.
Okay, I think that's all I wanted to say. And if people just want to do like drive-bys around the house just to check on it. I know Ted is coming on Wednesday, pardon me. So we're here, but if you guys want to do drive-bys, that's also good. You follow me?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Katie. Congratulations on the job. Sounds fun. Well, I mean, sounds like, something new and exciting. I know that you have a passion for helping others and working in that field. So
Well, yeah, it's still the pandemic and the India virus. The India mutant is in the US now. It's very contagious, but the AstraZeneca and the Pfizer vaccines are beneficial and in protecting from that particular virus. There's other mutations, so we still have to be careful. And there's a pandemic out there. It is still there. So we have to be very, very careful.
thank you very much for what you do.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Rinpoche. Thank you for being here every day. Thank you so much. Please tell him thank you for being here every day.
Any other questions?
Yes, Karen has a question, and then Dan.
Morning, Jeff. Good morning, Rinpoche. I was just a little, I know you've explained it a few times, but could you be a little, explain why the initiation next week is so important and why Rinpoche, chose only to do it for a couple people? What makes it so important, I guess, is what I'm trying to ask.
Let me clarify what I said first, just to make sure I didn't say anything that was unclear. So next Saturday, rain date Sunday. So next Saturday, hopefully, we are doing two things now. One is the White Tara long life initiation. So that is the one event that's taking place that allows you to do the White Tara practice. And then the other thing is called the layperson vow. And the layperson vow is a lifetime vow that you take from a master, and you commit to a lifetime of keeping 5 specific precepts. And it's in the category of vows that the monk and nun vows are in. So the novice, probationary, and fully ordained vows are also in this category of vows called the Prana Moksha vows, are the individual liberation vows. There's 7 lifetime individual liberation vows. There's 8 individual liberation vows if you count this 24-hour vow that's embedded within the individual liberation vows. But usually we speak of 7. And the individual liberation vow for the male and female householder consists of 5 vows. And those 5 vows, Rinpoche will be giving to those who want it, not to the whole, not to everybody just as a brush, but to those who want those 5 vows, who want them, he will give those 5 vows. And why he didn't give them before to just everybody or to anyone who wanted those vows, I can't speak. But I know that he said you had to be very careful. And he was, always concerned about some of the vows and being able to keep them. Because if you make a commitment to keep the vows and then you just break them or you just kind of act in a way that you normally would without having the vows recklessly, you create more non-virtue by having taken the vow and committed to not doing those 5 things: not killing, not lying, not stealing, not committing adultery, and not drinking intoxicants or drinking alcohol. And then you can get into the details among each of those 5 as well. But those are the main outer words of the 5 vows, and you abstain from those things. So if you don't have the vow, right, and you live your life and you engage in those non-virtues, you're creating less non-virtue than if you have a vow and engage in those non-virtues. So you have to be very careful if you take a vow to not engage in the things you've committed to abandon. So that whether that is why Rinpoche had hesitancy before. He always said you have to be careful, careful, careful anytime we asked about taking those vows. And then only a couple people got them. So I'm just passing that along historically, just to let people know how important the vows are. And Rinpoche, Lama, the Natsu, the Genye Pai Dumba, Dan Genye Mai Dumba, Go, Me Mambo Go, the Chenrezig Chusu. Yene that's good, that's good. The Chishin Genye Pai Da Mai Dumba, careful, the Yabuda, the Dagi Dagi Che, the Lochi Dagi Dagi Che, the Tanda, the Chiranan, Jutsengare. Okay, so I asked him why not then, not now, and he said, I said, why now? He said, if there's people who want it, I'll give it. So.
Okay, thank you very much.
Does that clarify it?
Yeah.
I can go deeper and see, I wanted to say that stuff because I knew all that came out of my mouth. And if that didn't clarify it, I can clarify anything you want with Rinpoche. I never want to just take on this thing, but I just know some things I can just clarify. So does that clarify it?
It does, yes. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Cool. Rinpoche got to go to Central Park, not yesterday, the day before. Lori had a meeting, so it was right by the park, so it was like just perfect timing to find somewhere to park. That was another story. And then we got to roll around, a lot of the park. That the bigger wheelchair is great. It's definitely heavier, but going up the hills in Central Park, I gave up. I was maybe a block from the zoo, and we had to eat. I couldn't go up another hill, and I just said, "Uncle." But we did. I don't know how far, but we did some serious rolling. I'll tell you that. I don't know, a lot of blocks, and then a lot in the park, and then we ate some Turkish food, and then we went back to the park. Because Rinpoche wanted to go back to the park. So I was so exhausted, I could barely walk. And he's like, let's go back to the park. All right, we're going back to the park now. So Anyway, let's do the dedication, and then yeah.
Can I offer
Oh,
just
I'm
something real
sorry.
quick?
Was there more questions? I'm sorry. My bad.
I just wanted to offer real quickly that I was just asking maybe for Rinpoche and the others here just to offer their prayers for the long and abundant life of my new niece. Her name is Layla. She is so beautiful. She's my daughter, my sister's first daughter, first child.
Dan Pinja, the Pugu Jason.
Yeah.
And they call me Layla. What was the name?
Layla.
They call him the Pugu Ming Layla.
Oh,
They
yeah.
call Sage Rimbo dans Yunten Kanga the Sona the Molanjaro no?
Yeah.
Okay.
That drama is so that was.
I'll pray to make aspirations and prayers to to Tara. To Tara.
Tijiche. Thank you, Rinpoche. Tijiche.
Jeff, we have a queue of questions.
Okay, yeah, run them. Let's do it.
Okay, good. Alessandra's next.
No volume.
Sorry, I'm not very good at this technology. Thank
I
you.
couldn't even turn this on today unless Lori was here. So I was like, I'm stuck if she can't turn this on. So yeah.
I just learned how to raise my hand on the thing, so that's a big improvement for me. I have a question about the liberation vows and the killing. If I live someplace and there are roaches and the landlord sprays killing the roaches, do I get any of that karma? Or the other question in that is, if a mosquito bites me and my reaction is to slap it and I kill it, is that non-virtuous karma because I am killing?
I'm going to go with no yes, but we're going to deep dig. Rinpoche. No yes is my answer. Rinpoche, the Khonsrewa, the Genye Pai Dan Mai Dumba, the Suchupa Mapon, Suchupom Pom. Then Khonsrewa, Natsu Kamba, you Kanga Yure. Then Kon, the Kashe, the Kamba Genda Yure. Then Kamba Yar, Wool Dao Re, Wool Tegudu. Then it's Sansan Kamba Genda, the Kamba Me Shagdu, and Boo Segudu, Boo Kanga Segudu. The Dekan, they lay Sagdu. Dekan say the Ketamason, the Me Shamason, Yene Kon Degudu. Kon the Suchupi lay Sagdu. Yomare. Okay, so the first example where your landlord has killed the bugs in your apartment and you live there. You merely live there. You have not ordered. Now, killing, ordering to kill and killing are killing. So if you said, landlord, I have bugs, I need you to kill them, then you're ordering something to be killed. And if you kill them, you're killing. So Rinpoche said, you haven't killed in the first example, as long as none of those two things, I added the part about the ordering to be killed, because that is part of the karma. So as long as those haven't happened, if you haven't killed or ordered it to be killed, then you're not, by abiding in a place where there is that's happening, you are not accumulating that karma. It's not like you're in the landlord's army or something like that. You're not like on the landlord's team. It's probably debated, I bet, until 1 a.m. somewhere, something like it. But just general facts, you didn't kill in order to be killed. Now the next question. Then the true Bu Matsu Lapa Lena the Suja. Then Matsu did. This Suchupile. Yeah, so the second example is killing.
Thank you.
You've severed the life of a sentient being. Now, what degree of negativity depends on your premeditation, what your motivation was, the actual act of killing, and then what your mental state afterwards has a lot to do with how powerful that killing karma you've created is. So if you, out of some sort of attachment or anger or hatred at the bug, kill it, and then are so happy you've done so, that's the greatest degree of karma you can create in relation to it. But if you didn't even think about it, there's probably some attachment that happens because you feel a stinging and you want it off your body. So there's subtle first cause and then killing, but then the final thing, if you felt bad about having done it because it was just reactionary, it doesn't create the same detail or degree of karma. So it really depends on the varying degrees of your motivation and execution and completion of the deed.
Thank you.
In all those ways.
Okay, Katie has a question next, and then Stasha.
Thank you. So I don't know how to phrase this question, but I was thinking about it.
Katie Trewa, you're in.
If you're root guru, and this is for males and females, is your yabyum, so like your deity and consort, is he or she considered to be your spiritual spouse?
Rinpoche, the kon yayon Trewa, you're in. Menja go. Kon the yayon Trewa, you're in. Okay. The ngatsu guardian bu pumo, the gonjana, the lama ne yayon yen, yemba samodana, yayon, the lama, the chi yen, yemba samodana. Then lama dan ngatsu the shansaja jemen dan choka dan drabudu. Then yemba. Yone yemba. Maybe, I don't know if you can help me any language artillery with this Lobsang. My tantric language is very limited when we get to this kind of stuff.
I mean, usually, I think I don't know, what, Katie, are you actually asking if you're practicing highest yoga tantra practices with your human Lama, like using them as your partner in that practice?
Well, essentially they are, because they are the deity, because they gave the initiation. So I think.
But no, but are you asking about physical connection with them or not? Because that's like a different term. You would, like, the person you actually have a physical connection with in your practice versus when you're practicing visualization, there would be different terms for that.
Well, there couldn't be a physical connection with your, couldn't be like a literal physical connection.
Right. So what are you?
So it's like spiritual means like the mind, the mind spouse.
I have no idea. There's not a vocabulary for those words that I'm aware
Mind
of.
husband, mind wife, mind guru husband, mind guru, mind.
What's the purpose
I mean,
of
there's probably a vocabulary around this topic that, I don't know exactly which are the right
Because you
terms
say
to
at once, in some texts you say at once we become non-dual. At once we become non-dual, not separate.
Right. That's
So
not about a mind husband though.
Yeah, it's about emptiness.
it's about emptiness.
Or
At once we become non-dual. Do you know the part I'm talking about?
like in the sadhanas, the Lama dissolves into you and you become non-dual.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your question is, does that make you a mind spouse?
Yeah. Does that make the guru a mind spouse versus a physical spouse? Because the point is getting back to the individual liberation vows. I know this is, I'm just thinking about, I'm just thinking about like committing adultery.
Maybe Jula.
That's definitely not adultery.
Dan Jemen.
But no, I'm not saying that's adultery. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying if you break that vow with your teacher, is
that's adultery.
That is adultery. That's what I'm asking. Yeah.
Rinpoche says, so I just try, I know he knows what I'm asking him. He says he hasn't seen this in a text. I asked if there's any talk of a Lama and the disciple when they're engaging in this this practice, visualization in the highest yoga tantra setting, not the disillusion of the deity into you, the highest yoga tantra practice of consort and practitioner. And he says he hasn't seen this term of husband and wife in the text. Spiritual husband and wife, I didn't know how to say that, but he hasn't seen a term that relates to husband and wife in these highest yoga tantra settings.
But Losang's saying that it is, if you break that, I guess, break that practice of highest yoga tantra, then it is breaking one of the individual liberation vows for adultery.
Wait, that's not what I'm saying.
No? Okay.
I think what I heard you say is if you commit adultery with your Lama, is that breaking the vow?
I'm not saying that at all. Erase it, cut it. I'm sorry, cut all of it.
No, okay.
Yeah,
sorry, I misunderstood that. Sorry about that.
I just think it's like mind.
Well, maybe just ask like Rinpoche, what does it mean to break the vow of not committing adultery or lognyam? What is that? What does it mean to break that vow? And he could just say what that would be.
If Rinpoche hasn't seen my question in a text, if Rinpoche, if you're a root guru and you do the highest yoga tantra with he or she, whether your root guru is he or she, and you merge to become non-dual, I'm asking, is that a term for spiritual spouse?
Yeah, I asked Rinpoche when there's this union of male and female, if he's seen this term of spouse, and he says he's not seen this term.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
The Nejo Alana maybe Jew, the Yayung, the Choga, not Jemen, the Natsu Jikten, the Chansa Jatan Drapo, the Yomaribe.
Yes.
The guys. Okay, hold on. Then the Nga, the Gonja, then the Nga dan Cheran, the Yayung, Gonja. Then the Shansa Jatan Drapo do it. Shansa, the Nga Sampa, Cheran, Nga Choka, Sanu Dan do it. Nga Cheran A Jemen, Sanu Da do it. Yeah, so no, you don't think in these terms of husband and wife.
Okay, thank you. Because in some religions, they do. So that's the preface for my question.
I see.
Yeah, thank you.
I see where you marry God, like this sort of thing.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. Kuchinas.
Okay, Jeff and Rinpoche, Stasha has a question.
Hey, Stash.
Hi, Tashile. Thank you for the transmission, Rinpoche, and Jeff, thank you for reading it. My question kind of is a follow-up to last week. With Rinpoche being my root teacher, I'm so grateful for him, and there's no one that I would rather take vows from. However, right now I feel I'm still very fearful of breaking the vows, and I just want to know if I don't participate in Saturday and taking the vows, I don't want him to think I'm not interested or I don't want them, especially from him. I just feel like at this point, I'm still really scared of the heavy non-virtue in case I break them.
Stasha, this is the Genye Mai Domba. Chishena Kon Langamari, Ganisena Kon Shegudu, Ganisena de Kon the Domba Chana. The Deepa Mambo Sagare, then they con Detsugu Chikshin and Samudam. They deal with
Yes.
So I don't know that we're 100%. Well, I mean, I'm not sure, but I'm not sure if we're going to Zoom that, because then that would just be, that would go out to anybody who's watching the initiation. So I don't know. I have my thoughts on it. I don't want to put all my thoughts into what it, there's a lot of people, but that would be my thought, that we may not be Zooming Saturday. Just the Mahayana, the vows, not the Mahayana vows, you know what I mean, the layperson vows.
Okay, if possible in the future, if I decide I'm ready, is that something that could be arranged?
Gemma, Stasha, Genye, Mai Domba, Guna, Chu Chang, Kong La Nangruben, not to yes, fine. She can give it to you in the future. Gangisine Tanda Kon Detsu Shigdu. Gangisine de Yapu Kon de Domba Na, Yapu Madana, Kon Tipa Chambu Sagare Sampa, de Domba Lena. Then it Kon Detsu Good Sampa. Thank you. Look at Shamba. Is that all the questions?
That's all I've got.
Shamba looks so young, so funny. All right, well, let's do the concluding.
May I ask one quick one on behalf of my mom?
Yes.
My mother, she's just over next to me. She was asking if someone, after taking the layperson's vows, does transgress them, is there a way to purify that, confess that, and purify that?
The Genye Pai Mai Domba, the Nika Karun, the Lena, the Deepa Sana, the Deepa Kanje, the Da. Deepa Da Tugudu.
What level does Deepa Tanagar is Chason the Damako?
Kanje. The Genye Pai Mai Domba, the Deepa Sana, Kanje Da.
Maybe you can say Dongwa Shore.
Tongwa Shore. Tongwa Shore na. Tongwa Shore. Tongwa Shore. Shore. Jor. Tongwa Shore. The Deepa, the Genye Pai Dumba Suchupa Le Sana. Tongwa Shore.
Nobody shooting Gelota.
Ale. Shoke. The Deepa Kandres da.
The Tonsha and Deba Mota is Tonsha.
So,
Rajan, Bejo, Shadow to one shot. So, Jig sent you the Deba, some way Deba.
So, if you have taken the vow and then you accumulate a non-virtue in relation to it, or you break your vow, so you've committed the thing you said you will not commit. So you've turned. If you've done that, then you can engage in the confession of downfalls to the 35 Buddhas. So, for instance, if you say the line to the founder Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat, perfectly completed Buddha, glorious conqueror Shakyamuni Buddha, I prostrate. This purifies many tens of thousands of kalpas of non-virtue. So knowing that, we should apply this type of prayer to our misdeeds in order to purify them. Tongsha ya should. The Teichen, the Ganye Pai Mai Dumba Yuna, then Araton, the Dumba Lodwe.
Then other control matters.
Then the Ganye Pai Dumba Yuna, then they Araton, Deepa Sha, Tonsha, Dirbe.
Yes.
Then the how do you say is the vow fully restored? Because I have a misunderstanding about this possibly. Lobsang La. So if you break a root, the suchuna, me suchuna, the genye pai dumba yuna, the yanje langu, dipa sha digrube. Yanje langu, gu. Okay, so is that incorrect? So it is correct that if you break one of the root infractions, you have to retake the vow. Am I hearing that correctly, Lobsang La? If you, I asked.
Well, you gave the example of killing someone. So if you kill a person, which is what you said, like a human person, you have to take it again. I'm not sure if the same would apply. I'm not sure if the same would apply to lesser infraction, like killing a bug or something, right? Or drink.
It's tough. This is where I have the question about it, right? I also asked him if you drink alcohol, the aratona, domba yanje lengu. Yine is the me su chuna yanje lengu. Okay, so let's take the Rinpoche, the genye pai domba yuna. Then a me suchuna dipa sha digrube. Then a dipa shana. Okay, then a dipa shatsana. The domba yanje langu. Okay, so Rinpoche is saying you don't have to. Maybe my Tibetan wasn't clear before, saying you don't have to retake the vow if you've committed one of the misdeeds. So I'm been confused about this because I was under the impression that you had to as well from many years before. So let's table it.
Yeah, it's different for the monastic vow too. It would be different, right? Because
right, but I had asked before, many years ago, about if you drank alcohol. A friend asking for a friend, like 20 years ago, if you'd taken the vow, if then you broken the vow and had to retake it. And maybe I just understood what this breaking of the vow meant at that time. So I'm going to table it and do some more studying myself. But that's what, I have a little vested interest in this, myself, about whether the taking of the vow again is necessary or not. So we'll table it. Maybe we'll have more will be revealed on Saturday. All right, so we'll do the concluding prayers. We haven't done them, right? No prayer.
No, we do have one more question if there's time, but
we're here.
One just popped up. Katie has a question.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So my question is, in the individual liberation vows, not killing. So indirectly, that would mean that one would have to become a vegetarian, because logic follows one would have to become a vegetarian, completely full vegan. And I just wanted to rejoice in Stasha. I know that Stasha is a full vegan, and that's not killing. That's pretty amazing. I can't hear you. I don't know.
Yeah, Rinpoche, the Suchupa, the Sha Sana, the Suchupi Le Sa, the Sodwe. Yeah. So again, this could be debated. And Rinpoche and I have engaged in Geshe Gompo and many Tibetans in this debate, but they say that eating meat is not killing.
Interesting.
Now, I say it's ordering it to be killed because I understand supply and demand. And I know the butcher doesn't kill if the person buying the meat doesn't come. But we can table that because I'm going to get revved up. Okay. I've been vegetarian since I was 16 before I heard any of this stuff. So yeah. I don't know. Seemed pretty gruesome to me in high school. Anyway. That's my little soapbox for the day.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
The animals suffer so much at the time of death. It's really very sad how much. they
Rinpoche
suffer.
always asks me how many bugs had to be killed for my broccoli. So I don't know. Stop. But then I say you've got to have the fields to feed the animals, and you got double killing. You know, pick it. Yeah, you could have eaten those beans. You didn't have to feed them to the animals and then eat them. You didn't have to kill it twice. I
Yeah.
think my model just kills the bugs. Anyway, let's do the concluding prayer.
Really wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
I even tried to get this debate going in Drepung, and it's just not so much. Fundamental ground is scented with incense and strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha land and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure realm. I dedicate whatever virtues I have collected for the benefit of the teachings and of all sentient beings, and in particular for the essential teachings of Venerable Losang Drapa, to shine forever. I send forth this jeweled mandala to you, precious Guru. I dedicate all this virtue to emulate the knowledge of the hero Manjushri and likewise Samantabhadra as well. With whatever dedication is praised as supreme by all the conquerors to traverse the 3 times, I also dedicate all my roots of virtue for the sake of auspicious deeds. In that pure land surrounded by snowy mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness, all powerful Abbot Tenzin Gyatso, may stay until samsara's end. I pray for the long life of the precious Khensur Wandak, upholder of scriptural and realizational doctrines, spiritual friend who trained extensively in the 5 great philosophical texts with exceptional wisdom and perseverance. Tuji Rimchi Gutsi Shabi Denona. And as a side note, because I want to just make sure I explain both sides, the explanation is that if you eat meat, right, you look at yourself like the bird, the buzzard, that comes and eats the leftover things that the tiger killed. The tiger killed it, right? You didn't kill it, and then you come and you eat the leftover thing. And that's how you look at eating meat. I think it's weak. But that's why I say, like, whether the bird comes or not, the tiger's going to kill. Whether the buyer comes or not, that's really going to depend on whether the butcher kills. I don't think it's a very solid example.
May I ask for the few people who volunteered to help next week, as well as Kate, just stay on for about 5 minutes so we can just hash this out quickly. A couple things anyway. Okay.
Yeah, I'll stay on too, just so I know what's going on.
Oh, of course, Jeff.
Yeah.
Without question. Yeah.
Yep, you got it. I'm gonna